All right, my honors kids, this is going to be like number 15 on your test review. And if you look at number 15 on your test review, you will notice it sort of has three parts. So does this one. Okay, and at the top of this, it says that Q is the centroid, and we know from class that centroid is the place where all of the medians cross. And we know that that automatically means we should think about 2/3 and 1/3. Okay, so we're going to use that a lot. So Q is the centroid, so that means from A to X is a median, C to Z is a median, and B to Y is a median. So in part one, I know that from Q to Y is 12, and I'm supposed to figure out how far it is from B to Q, and then how far it is the whole thing B to Y. And when we talked about medians, we said there's always a 2/3 piece and a 1/3 piece. And we said from the point of your triangle into the centroid, that's always your 2/3 piece. And then from the centroid out to the side is your 1/3 piece. So 12 is our 1/3 piece. BQ, that's the point into the centroid. That's going to be our 2/3 piece. That's going to be double the size of this 12, our 1/3 piece. So if I want to know how long BQ is, all I'm going to do is double that 12, that's the 1/3 piece. So I'm going to do 12 times 2 is 24. So that means from B to Q is 24. And then if I want to know how long the whole thing BY is, all you have to do is add the 12 and the 24 together. 12 plus 24 is 36. Okay, so there's that part A. And I'm going to erase that stuff from part A so it doesn't get confusing. So give me a second to do that. Uh-oh. How about I just undo it? That's all right. We probably don't need that part anymore. It's fine. All right. So there's a little bit of white out in our triangle now, but it's okay. Next part is about this line with A, Q, and X, that piece. And again, from the point of our triangle in, that's our 2/3 piece. So that means from A to Q is the 2/3 piece, and from Q to X is the 1/3 piece. And this time we are given that from Q to A is 12, and I want to know how far it is from Q to X, and then the whole thing AX. Well, if QA, the 2/3 piece, is 12, QX, the 1/3 piece, is going to be half of that. So to figure that out, I'm going to do 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So I can label from Q to X 6. And then if I want to know how long AX is, the whole thing, I just have to add those together. So 12 plus 6 is 18. Okay, also not too bad. And so that's the second part. And then just like before, I'm going to go ahead and erase that stuff from my second part so it doesn't get confusing on part 3. Okay, so now we're talking about part 3, which is CZ, this median right here, Z, CQ, QZ, and CZ, that whole thing. And we know that CZ, the whole thing, is 12. So let me see if I can label the whole thing we know is 12. And if we're talking about 2/3 and 1/3, from the point C into the centroid Q, that's going to be my 2/3 piece. And then from Q out to Z is going to be my 1/3 piece. So this is where we have to do some multiplying with our fractions. Okay, so if I want to know 2/3 of 12, that's CQ. If I want to know that 2/3 piece, I'm going to do 12 times 2/3, because CQ is 2/3 of the whole thing, which is 8, right? 12 times 2 is 24, divided by 3 is 8. And then if I want to know the 1/3 piece, now you can do the shortcut and go, well, 12 minus 8 is 4, so it must be 4. Or you can say that 12 times 1/3, ZQ, is the 1/3 piece. 12 times 1/3 is 4. Okay, so there's different ways and little shortcuts to do all of these. So I'm going to go ahead and circle all of our answers. Okay, so you just have to take a minute when you do these centroid problems with the 2/3 and the 1/3. You have to take a minute to think about, what do I have? Is that the whole thing, the 2/3 piece, or the 1/3 piece? And then go from there. And keep in mind, from any of the 3 points of your triangle, so in this case A, B, and C, into the centroid, that's always going to be your 2/3 pieces. And then from your centroid out to any of the sides of your triangle, like from Q to Y, Q to Z, and Q to X, those are always going to be your little 1/3 pieces, okay? So it just really depends on what you are already given in the problem. But that's really it.